Well, hello. I'm back with another one. Well, this time we're going to disassemble the Smithy lathe mill drill combo, uh, and then we're going to clean it. And the cleaning part is the tricky part. Boy, that took a lot of work. I guess it's not tricky. It's just a lot of work. So stick around, and I'll see you in a moment. I want you all to remember that I'm just another yokel who's not educated nor a professional in what I'm doing here, and it's possible that if you rely on this video, you, your project, or the both of you might end up as a smoldering hunk of hammered dog shit. Please use common sense, be careful, and always protect your ears, eyes, face, body, and hands when doing this type of work. With that, let's keep on trucking. This video may contain peanuts. In this week's episode, we are going through the disassembly and cleaning process. Disassembly is pretty straightforward. I think the cleaning process is where it gets interesting because it can be a real pain in the butt. So having a good strategy for cleaning is really important to me. And so the tools I use are one, a spray bottle with a degreaser and a nylon brush, and also a blue Scotch-Brite pad. Two, I have my parts cleaner behind the shop that has diesel in it, and that's good for breaking down grease. I also have my ultrasonic cleaner, which is another good tool for breaking down dirt and grease on parts. It gets things loose. It doesn't necessarily get them to come free, so some elbow grease is still required afterwards. And the last piece is the derusting solution that we learned how to make a few episodes back. And with those four things, I'm not doing that much elbow grease. You're going to see a lot of elbow grease in this episode, though. I was scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing for a long time to get that grease off. But I like it. I was out here listening to racing and just doing my thing, and it was enjoyable. So, without further ado, let's get going. While we still have a little light, I'm going to just start doing a little cleaning on this thing, now that we have the motor figured out. At the moment, I'm just going to remove the heavy dirt. I'm going to take the chuck off now, I hope. Oh, it's been marked. That's nice. But gosh, these are not very tight. That one is. But the prior owner put a 1-1 here and a 2-2 and a 3-3, so that it's when you take this apart, it's easy to line it back up, which is nice. I don't know that much about the prior owner. All I know is that when he passed away, he gave it to a friend of mine, and I know that they were both members of the Vintage Jaguar Club of Southern California. Okay. It's going to be a lot of surface rust on these things. So, good thing we have a new derusting solution. I'm just removing the compound slide from the machine. Okay, it's got a key. All right, now let's see if we can get this cross slide off. These are the points where the jibs are held. Gibbs, jibs, Andy Gibb, BGs. It's all the same thing, really. So, yeah, it's a lot looser now. Okay, let's see what this does if I take these off. I just took this off. Now I'm going to knock this handle off. Nice. Wow, that was much easier. Still hot. I'm going to put it all the way across. Because the screws are right here. But sure, the way to do this. I'm not doing anything anymore. Alright, let's measure. Okay, so we're just up here. Oh no. Oh, alright, doing it doesn't seem like me. Okay. Okay. Now why is this not coming apart? Alright, that's why. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, geez, another one. Okay, that should mean I can take this off now. Awesome. So let's move this around. Most of the lathe is done with the removal except for this piece here, the screw. But I haven't touched the milling head yet, and well, we'll get to that soon enough. That was quite loose. I keep hoping that this somehow this base piece here will come undone when that's why I've been taking out all these little screws, but oh, that wasn't bad. That came right out. Okay. Here we go. I do have a parts diagram for this, so and I've been taking video of this obviously, so pretty sure I can figure out how this goes back together eventually. Ever seen that E-clip band? Ah, sorry. Oh, this is one shot. I see the rotation property as it goes in. Makes sense. Okay. Alright, looks like the last thing to get out of the way here is this. And something tells me that's not a small consideration. This thing here switches between the lathe and the mill, so stuff isn't just simple. I want to take off this case. Actually, it looks like it might come off over the pulley, so let me give that a shot. And that's a little bit more. Sneaky, one more. Everything on this machine is so loose. I mean, glad it's not stuck, but at the same time, right, there we go. I'd like to be able to get the top off. Well, no, I guess if I do this, I can just access them one at a time. Grabbed an extension, so hopefully I'll have a little bit more room to work. Some of these parts, like this one, are plastic. Most of them are metal. I'm so lucky the ball bearing didn't go flying. Okay, now I'm going to try to take this thing off. There's 2 bolts here. I can see that it actually is set up that it slides over the ways, which was a little unexpected, but that's fine. There is a bolt. When I do it with my hand, it seems like it's locking into place, but then, okay, there we go. It was a 17. Oh, that's going to be a pain to put back in when the time comes. Ah, there's another bolt. The way this is all put together makes me wonder, I mean, usually on a mill, you have an adjustment. You can adjust the head of the mill to make sure that it's level with the table. But I wonder how you would do that on here. Okay, well, yeah, even that, look, there's play here. So how do you make sure that this is square with this? I mean, I know how, but I'm just saying there's a lot of play there. We have to be careful when putting this back together to make sure that the lathe is straight. Here we go. This thing is almost completely apart now. The mill and the transmission and the mill are still in big pieces, but everything else seems to be taken apart to bite-sized pieces that can be cleaned. I want to try to get these off so I can take the motor mounting bracket off. They weren't budging, so I've got this. Try again. There it goes. Ow. Ah, that really hurt. I'm starting to think maybe that it has nuts on the back. Yep, there it is. Oh. Not sure what these things are. The only thing I can think of is that maybe they're lifting rods. One. Okay. Two. Three. And four. Yeah, these things are pretty substantial. That must be what they are. Okay, the ways are completely separated now. Let's bring in the big guns just a little bit up here on the middle, not so much on the painted parts yet. Got it. All right, let's get this over. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm fully aware I'm bordering on anal retentive now, but oh well. I'm gonna strip too much paint off. I'll be all right. All right, let's finish up this side. Okay, now let's spin it around. Take a note of the before here. Or I should have said take a note of after. Here's before. Quite dirty, huh?
Hello, my name is Werner. I am a projectaholic. Just kidding. But look, my gosh, there's those vices that need to be ground. There's the Smithy. There's the Smithy. There's a couple of wool hoppers. One in the back's been completely disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled. The one in the front, not yet. There's the original magnetic chuck that came on my surface grinder. There's the motors for the surface grinder. There's a 5C collet indexer. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The point of this little clip here is to let you guys know that I spent last night cleaning up the mill head and also the transmission for the lathe. I didn't do it on video because it wasn't very sexy. It was fairly simple. They weren't too dirty. The bearings are smooth. All the movement is smooth. I don't need to disassemble any of this stuff. I think it's better to leave good enough alone. So that's my report for now. We're going to get into more cleaning of the smaller parts over the next little bit.
And here's the current lay of the land. So you saw the mill head and the transmission for the lathe over on my bench. Everything's apart. Nothing new here. This is pretty much like it was the other day after I finished taking things apart. And again, here's the lathe bed after I cleaned it all up. And so, we don't need to do anything too aggressive to any of this stuff. Although, gotta address that. I don't know. Okay, just need to be careful and keep it clean. So I'm going to be doing something between degreasing and maybe a little derusting and maybe just cleaning. This is not rocket science here. So just take my time, make things look nice. For the moment, since we saw a little bit of rust showing up on the ways, I'm just going to spray them down with some WD-40 just as a temporary rust preventer. And I'll clean that up later when we get ready to put things back together. To make this a somewhat manageable process, I'm going to start with the painted surfaces and just clean them up first.
Oh, Judah.
And I'm going to even clean the inside. And the cleaner I'm using is some orange one. It's one of the orange ones. It's not simple green, obviously. Okay, we'll move this over to the clean pile. Alright, let's work on the tailstock next. Now this, I need to get this drill out of here because that needs to be cleaned separately. Oh, I already did it earlier. I think this is MT3. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. So this is going to get derusted, not taken apart. The hole in the chuck. Let's see, does this show up in focus? Now, I have not yet learned that magic trick of getting things up, sort of.
Anyways, it looks pretty good. So I don't think it needs to be disassembled, but it is going to take an anti-rust bath or a derusting bath. And then this will just get some treatment. Well, we've cleaned up the painted stuff. I think didn't get to see too much of that cabinet, the gear cabinet there, just because ran out of storage again. But you can see things are starting to clean up. And yeah, oh, and I just ran this thing. Let this sit in the deruster solution. Come on, focus. There we go. This morning it cleaned up pretty nice. Uh, this is what we have left. This mess of stuff, and this is going to be require a little more effort. This has got some, it's not baked on, but it's grease that is going to take a little bit more elbow grease. So we'll take that on next. We're back at it. Today we're working on cleaning the metal parts, and I've already taken some gears and thrown them into my ultrasonic cleaner with some kind of magical orange liquid and water, which I'll tell you what it is when I get back over there because I just can't remember. And right now I just want to see what I can do with this metal surface. I'm not sure how it's going to clean up, and don't know if I need to actually do some derusting or what.
I think the dirt is coming off pretty easily, and the rest of this is just some layers of rust. So I think what I'll end up doing is just cleaning off the rust, cleaning off the dirt. I need to get down in here as well. Maybe I'll even take it back to my parts cleaner where I use diesel fuel to try to get this a little bit cleaner before I put it in the de-rusting solution. Probably want to do the same with these, or maybe I just want to try them in the ultrasonic cleaner. It obviously has grease on it. I've had my ultrasonic cleaner for about a year, and for some reason I just still don't have a good feel for how well it could work. So I think the trick, and what my friend has told me is the trick, is to get it as hot as possible and let it soak in there or vibrate for 30 minutes to really get it clean. But the hot is very, very important. And perhaps in the past I was impatient and did not let it heat up as much as I should have. So now I came out here this morning a couple hours ago before I had my coffee or anything and just turned on the ultrasonic cleaner bath to let it heat up. And it's a pretty big one, so it takes a while for the liquid inside to heat up. So I'll take a look at this first batch here in a moment and see how it turned out. Well, I've been using my ultrasonic cleaner with some success, actually. Yeah, so I've just tried a couple of things in here. This was just covered in typical grease. This was inside of the gearbox. Came out quite clean. All I really did was wipe it off afterwards, and I'll show you guys the cleaner and the process. But these just came out as well, and they weren't hideously dirty, but yeah, they looked pretty good. Pretty happy with that. This handle, had some grease and stuff on it, and even in here there was some, I don't know what it was, black grease or oil, dirt. That all came out. And I also did these 4 pickup rods. These are for picking up the machine, and yeah, that came out pretty good. So I think I'm going to try some other things in there now. I may go as far as trying out one of the slides to see how that happens. And what I'm doing is just putting it in for a half an hour at a time. So yeah, let's try that. This is the main basket here for my cleaner. And so what I'm going to do is just throw this whole thing in here. And you can just see generally how dirty it is. Not horribly, but there's a lot of grease staining, and down in the T-slots it's fairly dirty. So we'll just drop this thing in here and then carry it over to the ultrasonic cleaner. Here's my ultrasonic cleaner. Right at the moment I can't remember how big it is, but it's pretty decent size for sure. It's a Vevor, and it's done fine. I just had to replace the on-off switch because it stopped working correctly. Got a little soft, and the contacts weren't, and some of the plastic broke. So, wow, that thing is not light. So I'll just bring this over. Drop it down in there. Put the lid on. And then I'm just going to let it go for a half an hour and see what we come up with. Okay. Let's see what we got. Looks much better. I wonder if I need to flip it over because I can see a bunch of debris still inside of the T-slots. But if I'm just rubbing my finger in here, the T-slots are, yeah, I can move it. All right, I'm going to pull this out of here. Okay, the first round of the ultrasonic cleaner did some work, but not at all. So I'm going to just try cleaning out these T-slots a little bit more with some diesel fuel. This brush works really well. Don't know if it's going to work really well in these T-slots, but it's down in there at least. Knocking out some of the bigger stuff. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, that looks much better. Wow, much better. Okay, that didn't take very much effort. I'm pretty sure that the ultrasonic cleaner probably knocked out, or loosened up most of that stuff, but didn't shake it free. And I'm not sure if you can do that in an ultrasonic cleaner. Perhaps you need to have it upside down, but even then, does it knock off the stuff? Okay, so that worked. I think beyond this, we're also going to need to put this in some of the derusting solution because I'm fairly sure that this is rust. And I can feel it here too. And I just want to get rid of that without using an abrasive method. So we'll go there. So this solution has been sitting since I made it at the last video, or 2 videos ago. 3 videos ago. It's been a while, so we'll see how it holds up now. Somebody asked me how long did this stuff last, and I did not have a good answer for them. Okay, let's see. Just gonna put a couple pieces of metal down here on the bottom to get this up off the ground. Okay, I'm just going to put a little more in. Not quite covered. Okay, and then I'll check it again in a while, and depending on how it's doing, I'll leave it or remove it. So while we're letting those other things go, I'm going to just finish taking apart the compound slide. I already started, and I didn't bring you guys along yet, so let's bring you along. Okay, we'll take out these pieces that put pressure on the jibs to keep things from moving around, keep the slide from moving around. Yeah, right now, so the slide is stuck. It's not, doesn't want to come apart too easily. And I guess I have to back it out all the way. It wasn't necessarily stuck, it was just, they need to be unscrewed entirely. Okay. Okay, take this out if we want to, might as well. And then I think we're going to want to take this off as well. My spanner wrench is too large, so I think what we're going to do is just knock it with a screwdriver a little bit. Ta-da! No. First I got to knock this thing out. And I think it wants to go through that way. Just need a little drift. There, that gave it a little push. I am currently at a loss. I don't have a drift quite that small. Oh, perfect. Thank goodness. Okay, get these off. What else do we have to do here? Okay, there we go. I don't think this is going to work, but I'll try. Okay, well, I was wrong. Oh, funny. The key didn't come out, but didn't matter. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. All right, all of this stuff needs to go in and get cleaned as well. Okay, right now I've just got this pulley that's on, it's on a mechanism that sits in the gearbox, and I want to put this thing into the ultrasonic bath, but I do not want to put the pulley and its bearings in there. I'm just going to take it off real quick so I can put the rest of it in there without having to worry about it. It's going to be a long road to get this thing off. There we go. Okay, so the bearings stayed in here, which is what I was hoping for. And now I can just take this piece and throw it into the ultrasonic cleaner and not have to worry about damaging the bearing with, or getting a bunch of water in the bearing. Hopefully you can see how nice the cross slide came out. It looks really nice on the surface. All indications of rust on that piece are gone now from sitting in the fluid. So we're going to take that out and put in one more piece, and then I think we're just about done actually with cleaning. Let me show you the piece I'm going to be putting in. It's, like I said, it's getting kind of dark here, but there's a fair amount of rust on here. So Sorry about the poor light. So let's stick it in there and see what happens. Let's take a look at this second set of ways. And this is the main slide for the lathe, and it is looking quite a bit better, actually. That's good news. Not that I didn't think it would. Alright, I think we're going to be able to call this one done. Before we shut down, let's just take a quick count of what's going on here with all the parts. We've got the transmission, we've got the motor, we've got the mill head, and various parts strewn around my workbench over here. And we've got more parts over here. And finally, in the back of my truck, we're going to wrap up this video right here. In the next video, we're going to put this all back together, and depending on how much time we have and it takes, I may even get into some cutting. But for now, my goal is at least to get this thing back together in the next video. I want to thank you for spending your time with me and watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, I would love a thumbs up. If you are interested in hearing more from me, please subscribe. I release videos on the 1st, the 11th, and the 21st of each month. So content will continue to come your way if you are a subscriber. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. So long for now.